Welcome. I am Crimey Queen. If you are joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. I certainly do. I certainly love this subject of numerology and taking and paying attention to how numbers impact our lives. Of course, how we can use the consciousness, just being conscious of the vibrations. Now, I can't really say for sure that I could tell you, okay, you use this free vibration this way and that way, and this is going to happen to you. But I do know that the numbers are speaking volumes everywhere we go. I also know that people are using the numbers to their benefit, and why not learn how we can use it to our benefit, but for the highest good of all concerned. So, for instance, when we use the number 9, which we know everyone knows, of course, it's 9 months for for a child to come into the world. The word whole, for instance, which I have just done on one of the presentations, whole meaning the whole world, the whole, because we are many worlds as well, so that in itself is 9, the whole is 9. So we can see how, if love and whole equals 9, there must be something very symbolical or significant about 9. Now, nothing is done by chance. Everything, every word that we encounter, I believe in the English language, has been strategically formulated to some part of our senses, our body, our minds, our being, because that is how the connection works. Hence, it is said, in the beginning, which beginning is 9, was the Word. The Word is 6. That is, it is being turned upside down. So when we do the numerical value, which I have done for the word 9, N-I-N-E, for instance, if we do 5, 9, 5, 5, this becomes 10, 19, 24. So 2 plus 4 equals 6. So this is where we see 9 becomes 6. Now, these are things that are important for us to learn. So when someone is using 6 or 9, or when we encounter it in whatever way, or if it is in your life path number or your date of birth, for instance, it gives you an inclination or gives you a sense of understanding how you fit in, numerically speaking. Okay, so 9 we see is also 6. Now, there, of course, 9 is everything, sacrifice. Now, if you are, for instance, a number 9, um, and having this sacrifice, it probably means that you really need to understand the full essence of sacrifice. Now, that does not mean it does not apply um, to all of us, but I believe there is something about life path numbers that it it sort of takes a shape or a pattern of how your life is conducted, or how your life is framed. So, for instance, when we read Matthew, of the scriptures, the word Matthew, I'm going back to Matthew, is 9. The word tax in the New Testament, Matthew, who gave the genealogy of Christ, for instance. Now, I'm amused with that because Matthew is 9, and there we see how the connection with Christ and Matthew became so solidified, we could say, because everything, or so many things that happened around the ninth hour with Christ. There was the ninth, there was lots of 9, or lots of 9, and we can see that 9 is a magic number. It is that magic number. It is that number that you can add. For instance, 9 and 5 would be 14. And then if you were to add 1 plus 4, it would be 5. So any number that you add 9 to, it would come back into itself. It's like it would be birthing that number. It's like 9 is really the world. It's really the womb that whatever you put in there, that's what it gives out. I love this. Sometimes it's just nice hearing the essence of what comes out of my mouth, which is 5. So, of course, the 9 in my head, or the 9 that's the world here, the 5 is just coming alive. Okay. So, basically, we see here that what the magic of 9. Now, what I would like to explore with the further with the magic of 9, I may have lost my trail of thought for a little while, but the main thing that I want to explore here is the word tip, because I have been looking at number 9, as I say, as the whole, and see how it can, yes, back impact on our lives. And because this is a love channel, because all what we do here, it's about actualizing self, full love that we spill over with love we have. That's what we are breathing. We are breathing love. We are living love. Okay. So the word tip, because I have been talking about hand, the hand is 9, the finger is 5. Now, all of those things, and I just love it. It's so delicious, really. When I look at 9 and 5, hey, this is why it is said in Genesis of chapter 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. I think it must have been quite something to be at a table, whether it was King James and whoever else and all the elders or masters and whoever devised or came and put this Bible together, and to say, how are we going to begin book, this book of life? What word shall we use? What's the first word shall we use? Because the first word is very important here. I am just beginning to learn all this, of course. And they came with 2. Can you imagine a 2-letter word for a Bible that has shaped lives so profoundly, nations? That's really phenomenal. Now, talking of that, I love it when I just glance. That's what the spirit of relativity of happens to do. So I'm talking about the word in the beginning. I'm speaking of in. And what have we got here? Right here in the word 9. In the word 9 is in the middle. I love it. And the 2 letters N and E, they both have the numerical value of 5. How profound is that? So in the word 9, of course, we have 3 5s. Now that is to really highlight the essential significance and importance of where we are placing the 3 5s. In the template here, we can see where we have 3 5s. This is the 5 column, N-E-W. So this is why in 9, we have 3 5s, meaning that it is showing you, and 5 is end. The numerical value for end is 5. The numerical value for Eve that I have been talking about, Mother Eve right here, that we are of dots, if you like. Here we see that the numerical value for Eve is 5. And so we see the significance of how 5 takes us way up to opening our third eye. That's what it was about. May we emphasize this, that Mother Eve was not a bad mother. We need to come to the reconciliation, not only with Mother Eve, but with ourselves, until we have this understanding about having a harmonious resolution and relationship with Mother. We can't guarantee our happiness, the joy that Christ came to give, the joy and abundance that Christ came to sacrifice, die on the cross, so to speak, however the story goes, or the essence of it. But let's grab the essence of it, that we won't be able to get into this, we won't be able to stay in this dimension for long, because to stay, to not stay in that dimension is not having the connection with your mother. For instance, this is where the nurturing had taken place. This is where the breast, the nipples, this is where the apple, this is where the protection was done. The protection. Hence, this is where God said, behold, the man has become like us. Us is US is for, meaning you are able to stand your ground. You are firm. You are firm. You know who you are. You are news. So there we are with the you are your north, south, east, and west. You are news. So you are that. There is nothing that can tell you otherwise. You are that. So this is what we have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten the essence of that newness that we can have nine, because whatever we are, whatever we are believing to be or to have or to do through nine, that is what we birth. I am thinking, like I'm getting a eureka. It's like it's on the edge of my brain. It's like saying, of course, the the significance of nine. Nine in itself, it's although nine is that child that comes out of the womb, but it is a womb in itself as well. So it means that whatever goes into that hole, so basically the nine, when it comes out, the number nine, which is like a pea hair, will exactly we pee out whatever that we are birthing in this sense. Okay, I just don't believe I said that, but I did. Okay, so hair is nine. It's we are coming from the womb, but birthing. We are birthing if we are birthing nine, which is like a six. Okay, I hope you can see this. So let's do this somewhere that it makes more sense. Okay, so we are birthing nine, of course, and nine is going to take the form of six. So that's what it's about. Okay, now back to tip. Let's look at the time. It's 14 on here. 1 plus 4 is 5. So we are talking about 5 and 9. So I am getting the impression of of there's a magic that we can extract from this template. I have been going a little bit, I have been allowing this to birth. I have been allowing this to reveal itself to me, that I believe this template will offer a formula that we can use to create magic. To create magic in solving, not only highlighting and understanding ourselves, but a magic that could transform any individual so profoundly. Of course, there's the magic numbers down here again, but I am waiting like water that could spill and we may not know what direction it's going to take. I have seen that happen in my presentations. So I am waiting for the revelation. We are using the word revelation here as well, so that it would be revealed to me. Or if you can see something, because sometimes it can happen that you may be able to see even easier than I can. Do feel free to share. What do you see? Let's ask ourselves, what is the message? What can we share? What can we see? We know from the word water, there's the word eight, which coincides with that column that takes us right to understanding this dimension, the third dimension, the fifth dimension, opening our third eye. But for me, and I realize it is true for other people too, it's finding the bridge, the balance of not only conversing, but merging the fifth dimension and the third dimension, merging those dimensions. Now, 3 plus 5 is 8. Here we are going through the cycle of 8 again. It's having that, knowing how that bridge. And I'm just getting something that it is to do with the mouth. There is an utterance that we are needing to understand with the mouth. Okay, let's go back to this tip. Now, because I had been talking about 9 and 5, and then I also looked at the hands. Hand is 9, finger is 5. Then I looked at nail, the nail, because Christ's hands were nailed to the cross. Cross is 2, so there were 2. And nothing happens without 2. And then, so we are looking at hand and nail. So here we have 9 again. So fingers, so 5 fingers, they're 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 2 plus 5 is 7. And then there is another 7. And here, this is why I also see the heart, which equals 7, and the earth also equals 7. This is where we are merging heart and earth. We are meaning earth or heart or the earth, or we are the heart of the earth or the earth of, but earth and heart is, we could say synonymous, sorry. We could say that because when we spell Heart, we only need to put the H behind the T and then it becomes earth. I think we all know that. So let's look at tip. So tip, because we looked at the tip of our fingernails. Tip. So there we are. 7, 9, 2. So this is 16, 17, 18. When we add these together, 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. So we see with the finger, though it is 5, the tip of the nails and the nail is 9. And now I am beginning to understand why female, representing the whole, the womb, the mother, Mother Eve in this sense. Yes, would pay so much attention to the nails. This is what women pay so much attention to, the fingernails. Now I understand. So I'm not one to go to the beauty salon too often to have my nails done, but I have been thinking about, well, it is such a big business. It is it is a must-have for most women, for many. And I was wondering, well, why? What's the significance? What's the symbolism in this women? Of course, that, as I say, is in direct correlation with the womb. The word womb, I believe, it is free, but we have seen the woman as a whole, which we know we have been talking about whole because WHOLE. Of course, we know that the woman still constitute a whole in the sense of having to conceive, okay? And the W here, which I have often spoken about, is like a three. It's the free. So we could say it's a free whole. I just, this is really, I just had this eureka. So when you buy a property here in London, I don't know about whether it exists other places, there is someone who has the right, who owns the freehold. This is what I mean about every English word is attached particularly to the female. Particularly. I try not to get to feel too offended. The freehold, because the W here is free. And there we have the whole. So it's also an E. Let's just, um, it's also E. It's three, it's E, it's M, and it's, of course, W. So W. W, as I've said, it's two of you. It's you and your reflection. So W, there is two of you. Two, double or double. In this context, I think of the freehold, it's probably used that way. Okay, so not to lose my concentration on this, so we have the yes, it's when you get something like this, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? The freehold. Because I have come across, for instance, fishnets, fishnet tights derive again from hair, from Christ. Men would go, he had fishers of men. I will make you fishers of men. I'm going to do another presentation on that. So women are wearing fishnet tights and men are fishing. Okay. So back to number 9. Back to number 9. Okay. So I think I'm going to have to conclude on this. It's when you get this, it's just a lot. I'm going to have to watch this presentation and perhaps if it's necessary get my trail of thought and do a presentation that would hopefully bring this to some comprehensive to some understanding, to hopefully you can make sense of it. And I would like to feel that I can still post this. Okay, I could still load it up again. These are very interesting. I'm becoming interested. Well, I am interested in the words, the vibration. Okay, so let's conclude on this. Let me thank you for watching, and it's just that freehold. There is a leasehold, leasehold, leasehold. I think the word. I would like to think that it is freehold, HOLD, and not HOLE. Okay, but however we see of course if it's HOLD it's still whole. Okay, thank you. I hope you have enjoyed this or find this insightful. This is what it's about, raising consciousness of how we use words and how they impact on our lives. When one is using a word that describes certain parts of our body as female in certain ways, how do we make sense of that? So basically, there's a land, again, it's a property. Because women again was seen as property, and there would be the freehold and the leasehold. Oh, when I began this, I just didn't think I would be um, getting into those kind of contexts of conversations at all. But I have to live my truth. So thank you for watching again. Do like, subscribe, and share because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self-full love. And that's what actualizing self-full love is about, self-knowledge. Thank you. Namaste. And spill over with love.